Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to be taking a look at the teaser for Birds of Prey, which is set to come out next year. Now, before I go into this, the video that I did watch had both of the teasers in it. There's actually two. There was one that came out, I believe, a few months ago, 3 months ago actually, and there's one that was leaked online in a different language, but has now since been had the English audio put over it, and has been put out online officially. So I will do the review of that. And each one of these is about 45 seconds each, but I have a video that kind of combines them into one, like 1 minute, 20-second trailer. So let's go into this first. So there is a premise available for this film. So that's going to tell us a few things, just going from that and then looking at what we see on screen. So basically this is supposed to take place 4 years after Suicide Squad, which makes sense because it's 4 years in real time. Again, the MCU does this a lot too, where they make real-time references to things that have happened in the films. So, you know, whatever year the film came out is the year that the film takes place in, so unless otherwise specified. So same thing here. So basically what has happened is Batman has disappeared, which I guess they're kind of using that as kind of an out because Ben Affleck has retired from the Batman role due to personal issues. And Harley Quinn has left the Joker. And so that's kind of where we get a lot of this idea where this is basically designed to be her movie, because Margot Robbie was one of the big parts of Suicide Squad that a lot of people really enjoyed. It was really her and I'd probably say her and Will Smith for the most part. Everybody else was kind of just but this is basically kind of like her film. She's leading the cast. This is kind of the way that it's working itself out. So basically Gotham has kind of fallen into disrepair and stuff like that, and this girl, Cassandra Cain, who also in the comic books I believe she winds up becoming one of the Batgirls, like the third one I think, and she manages to find a diamond that belongs to Black Mask, who's a crime lord who's played by Ewan McGregor. That's really the only thing I'm kind of excited about for this movie, is to see Ewan McGregor play Black Mask, although in the teasers I will say they don't show him having the iconic black mask, the actual physical mask, and the white tuxedo, which is really kind of what Black Mask is supposed to look like. So that's kind of a letdown, but you know, maybe he'll evolve into that throughout the film. I'd like to see that at least by the climax. So she winds up crossing around with Harley, and Harley decides to protect her, but she needs to join forces with Black Canary, who is being played by Journey Smollett-Bell, and Huntress, who is played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Renee Montoya, who I believe in the comic books, she becomes the Question, or the second Question after the first one is killed or retires or something, who's played by Rosie Perez. Interesting to see Rosie Perez in a movie again. Last thing I remember her from was Pineapple Express when she got her head blown off. But, so now that we have kind of a little bit of a backstory there, we can go into the actual teaser. And the teasers really show us a lot of action. They show us some character designs. They don't really go into the story. The first teaser, which is actually the second one that was released, or the first teaser in the video that I've seen, the newer one, they kind of do like a meta thing where they're making fun of the It clown, because they have this whole thing with Warner Brothers, and they show these little red balloons coming up, and it's kind of meant to, because It Chapter 2 just came out. That's kind of the idea there, is they're trying to kind of spoof off of that a little bit. And then Harley comes in with her, her trademark mallet and pops a few of the balloons and says, "I'm so tired of clowns." Again, that plays into the story elements because this is after she's kind of split her ways with Joker. So now we go into this whole action set piece, and we get to see Huntress and Black Canary and Harley Quinn kind of do their little thing, where they beat up all the bad guys, or not beat them up, kill them, basically. It shows that, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress does have her crossbow like she did in the comics, although obviously the costumes appear to be very much updated. They're not like the comic book mask and campy stuff. It doesn't appear that Black Canary's running around in her classic, the fishnet stockings and the jacket and stuff and the leather jacket and stuff like that. I think she does actually. I think correctly. I think she does have a jacket in this, but obviously she doesn't have the fishnets or anything like that. Huntress as well. I think it looks like they lost the cape, and they basically put her in kind of like a black type of stealth suit thing. But again, they did keep the little crossbow that she had, which is good. And then Harley Quinn just looks like Harley Quinn because they're carrying forward from the previous film. So that's really mostly what it is. We get to see that. We get to see little glimpses of Ewan McGregor as Black Mask, which is good. Apparently also Chris Messina is playing Victor Zsasz in this as well, which is also kind of interesting when you stop and think about it, because Victor Zsasz, I think he's only been portrayed on screen once, and that was in the Christopher Nolan trilogy. He really didn't have much screen time, because he's actually really interesting in the comic books, where he's just this psychotic, murdering psychopath who just carves numbers and carves like slashes and stuff into his own body. It's really, really interesting. So I hope they don't underuse him, and I hope that they do give Ewan McGregor his classic Black Mask look, because that look is so awesome. And Ewan McGregor is a really good actor, so I'm kind of excited to see him in that role. That's really more or less the reason why I'm kind of anticipating this movie a little bit, because I haven't really seen, other than a few things here and there, like I think it was the third season of Fargo was the one that he played twins, and a few other things over the years. Ewan McGregor isn't in a shit ton of stuff, and to see him kind of make the foray back into a big budget AAA production like this, because he's kind of been laying low for the most part since Star Wars, with a few little exceptions here and there, but to see him kind of make his foray back in is very interesting to me, and I like the idea of seeing that. So that's really why I'm mostly excited for this, but I do hope they give him the original costume, or they give him some form of it, some form of a mask. So overall, I mean, there's not too much to break down, but it does give you the aesthetics of the film, and both of the trailers. And the second one is basically just kind of a continuation of the first, where they show a lot of quick cuts of, the costumes and the actors. And again, when I say quick cuts, I mean quick cuts. I mean like half second you're seeing an image. Basically. So basically a lot of quick cuts, but if you pause it, and you can see a lot of the aesthetics and stuff like that, which, again, you know what you're getting with Harley Quinn, but the rest of them are kind of really what you're looking at to see, what's different, what they've changed from the comics, how they're introducing these characters. Again, most of these characters are being introduced now at a point where we haven't seen them in the DCEU, at least yet, because this is actually one of the only films, I think, out of the most recent ones that is a direct tie-in to those early DCEU films with Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. Because Aquaman was kind of off doing its own thing, basically. Shazam didn't really have a whole lot other than the Superman cameo at the end. And a few little Easter eggs here and there, but ultimately it kind of separated itself. This one feels like it's a lot more in line, which is very interesting to me. So, aside from those things, that's basically the gist of it. But I want to know what you think. Have you seen the? As usual, I will link the trailer below if you would like to watch it. And if you have seen it, then I'd like to know what your thoughts are on it. Or do you think this could be a good movie? Are you excited for it? Do you want to see more? Or could you care less? Did you not really like any of the characters? Are you done with the DCEU? Put it in the comments below. Again, I'd like to know what you're thinking. Hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?